Okay, welcome back to another episode of C programming tutorial. So, in this episode, we are going to learn about what do you mean by what is the return type of a function. So in the previous episode we already learned about how to pass some data to a function using arguments. So after performing some operation, the function can able to return some result back to the calling function. That is called the return type of a function. The return type is nothing but the data or the value which is sent by the function, sent from the function declaration to the function definition. So here I am going to create a program that will demonstrate what you mean by the return type in a function. So here in this program, on the main method, I declare two variables, x and y. Here I declare a function void read number. I just declare a function called read number. The purpose of this function is to read two numbers for x and y from user. So this function, now the return type of the function is void. Void means now the return type, there is no return type for this function. So if the function, I want to return the function some value to x and y. So x and y are integers, so I want the return type of this function is int. So instead of void I using int because I want here this function return some integer values. So here on this function I also put an argument called int n. So here in this function there is a return type which is integer, and also there is a single argument which is of integer type. Okay, so here I am going to call the function x equal to a read number. Also I pass a value to that function. It's an integer 1. I just pass value number 1 to that function. So whenever compiler reach this statement, it will call that function with argument 1. So this function will invoke and the variable n got the value 1. So here you can see this statement. I use an assignment operator. That means here the compiler will expect some value from this function. That's why I put the return type as int, because here x is an integer. So I have to return some data or some value from this function back to the function call. Here I declare another variable num. It is of same type integer. So here I ask the user to enter %d number. Okay, also put a new line using /n. So enter a number here and put a comma and put the value n here. So in this case the value of n is 1, so it will print enter first number. Okay, so now here I am going to read that number into the variable called, into the local variable called num. So %d is an integer, so I use the format string %d, put a comma operator and ampersand. Here the variable is num. So it will ask the user to enter the number. User enter a number and that number is saved into this variable num. Okay, so now I have to return that number back to the function calling. So for return a value from a function, you can use the keyword called return, and here the variable name is num. Okay, so the function will return the value from num. So if I put 5 for the number, then it will return 5 back to the function calling. So here we got the value for the first number 5, and that will assigned into the variable x. So for the second number, I call the same function with a value 2. So whenever this statement reach, the value of n is 2. So it asks the user to enter second number, and the user enter another number and again return back that number. So it will got in the variable y. So here we got two values, two numbers for x and y. Okay, so now I'm going to declare another function here. I'm going to declare one more function. It also return an integer, so here I put the return type as int calculate. I name the function as calculate, and here this function also has two integer parameters x and y. I use the same variable x and y in this function. This is possible because the x and y is local to this function. So you can use the same variable name or arguments name in any number of function, because all that arguments are local to particular function. So now here I am going to call that function. So this function return an integer value. So here I use the return statement. Return, it will return the result of this statement x plus y. So I have to call this function with two integer values, and I got a result from this function. So here I am going to print that result, printf, put a new line character, sum of %d and %d equal to again an integer, so again put a %d, and now specify the first number. Here instead of this %d, I want to display the value of x, so I put the value variable x. So here I want to display the value of variable y, so I put y second. Now I have to display the sum of x plus y. So I already declare a function that calculate the sum of x and y. So I have to call this function. So here I am going to call that function calculate and pass the value of x and y to that function. Okay, so here when this statement reach, it will print sum of x and y equal to, and call that function calculate with value of x and y. So this function will invoke, and it will calculate the sum x plus y and return the sum. So we got the result here as an integer, so it will display the result after this equal. Okay, so I complete the program. So now we can check it. So compile the program. There is no errors are available on our program. So now I am going to run it. Yes, compile it. Okay, we got a small mistake here. There is a spelling mistake. N is capital. Okay, now we complete the coding. Now we can run it. We can check it. So compile the program. Now run it. Now it asks for enter first number. I put the first number. Enter second number. Put the second number. Sum of 7 and 2 is 9. We got the correct output. This is how we working with a return type of a function. So one more thing, here I return an integer value. So I use the return type as int. If you return a float value, you have to specify the return type as float. Or if you want to return a character value, you have to specify the return type as char. Okay, we will learn all that things in the coming up part of this tutorial series. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please try it yourself and please subscribe my channel for getting more video updates. Thank you for watching. See you in the next part.